Hey Pit family, it's me, the Pit Papa. I wanted to talk to you for just a minute about jerky. Now, this is only the second time I've ever made this recipe. That's going to be some of what this channel is going forward, is me experimenting with things that I've never done, but showing you they're not as hard as they look. Today, I decided to do that with beef jerky, and this is only the second time I've made an attempt at this recipe. Now, when it comes to jerky, there are a couple schools of thought with regards to what cut of beef to use and how you want to marinate your meat. Marinade seems to come heavily down to flavor preference. For example, I really love teriyaki jerky and Korean barbecue jerky, and so that's what I ended up doing. I know there are people who just prefer a plain smoky jerky. Black pepper jerky is really popular, etc. I went with Korean barbecue for this video, and I've made teriyaki in the past very recently. Cuts of beef, though, technically speaking, you can dry any cut of meat into jerky. You can make filet into jerky if you wanted to, but just don't make filet into jerky. The internet came to a conclusion based on my research that there are really 4 trains of thought. The round, be it top, bottom, or eye of, are pretty popular, and then there's flank steak. And I chose to do flank steak, and to be honest, the reason I chose to do it is because back on Good Eats, where I really developed a passion for cooking, Alton Brown used flank steak. So that's what we're going to use in this recipe. We're going to put it in a Korean marinade for 24 hours, go out onto the smoker really low, 150, 160, dry it out, turn it into some beautiful, beautiful jerky over the course of about 6 hours. I'm excited. Let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is we need to expand the surface area of this meat, and we're going to do that by cutting it into strips. Now, there's 2 schools of thought on how to do this. You can cut it against the grain, which is what I'm doing. That'll give you a much more tender, but some would complain more fall-aparty kind of jerky, or you can go with the grain, which will make your jerky a little bit tougher, a little bit more toothsome, but it won't fall apart as much. It's up to you how you do it. I just personally prefer to do mine against the grain. Now, as for why we're cutting this meat into strips, it's all about flavor penetration. By cutting this up now instead of after our marinade, it allows that powerful set of flavors that we're going to put all this in to really penetrate down and get into all of that meat, so we have a really delicious product when all is said and done. In order to get that delicious product, though, we have to make this beautiful marinade, and it is filled with some power players. It is toasted sesame oil, soy sauce, a little bit of canola oil, some brown sugar, about 4 cloves of minced garlic, 2 diced green onions, 2 tablespoons of fresh grated ginger. Don't use powdered ginger, get fresh grated ginger. They're very different. Powdered ginger will not come out the way you want it. And in my case right here, I'm using red curry paste like we saw in our barbecue sauce video, but that's because my grocery store was sold out of gochujang, which is a fermented red chili paste that is used in a lot of Korean dishes. And if you can get your hands on that, that's really what you want to go with. It's going to really kick this recipe up a notch and be that X factor that makes this super delicious. I just couldn't get my hands on any when I did this recipe. Once all your ingredients are in, it's time to mix them together, and you're gonna go hard here. You want all of that brown sugar dissolved. You really want that soy sauce and that red curry paste and everything to really incorporate together and turn into this nice emulsion, so that way it really penetrates the meat and we get an even distribution of flavor for that delicious jerky that we're trying to make. Everybody in the pool now, get all of the strips of that flank steak in there and really work it into this marinade. Get that marinade into those fibers, get every single surface coated, and then you're going to cover this up tight and put it in the fridge for 24 hours. I'm not kidding, a full 24, but believe me, it's worth it. It's a new day, and how can you tell? New shirt. All right, we're gonna get this out here. It's been 24 hours. It's time to put it out on the Yoder Pellet Grill, but I'm gonna let past me tell you all about what we're doing now. All right, Pit family, so you saw we cut that steak against the grain. We got it in the marinade. It sat in the marinade for 24 hours. I pulled it out of the fridge. Now we're out here on the Yoder Pellet Grill. You can easily do this on a stick burner. You just got to be able to keep it really, really low with nice, clean smoke. That's going to be really important. I'm going to be doing this at about 160 is where we're shooting for. You want to keep it between about 155 and 165 if you're using a stick burner. So we're going to open this up. We'll get the jerky in on the grates and we'll let it go. Thank you, Past Pit Papa, for that great explanation. Editor Pit Papa here again, and I'm going to tell you what I learned post-cook, as I often do. As you can see, I'm placing these directly onto the grill grates, and there are actually a couple of different schools of thought about this as I was doing my research on how to make jerky on a smoker. One of them is don't place them on grill grates. Put them on wire racks that you set into your grill. This apparently makes for really easy batch removal, but I couldn't tell that it made any difference in the quality because that's how I did the teriyaki jerky that I did for a test run. This time I just put them directly on the grill grates. My one suggestion though, if you do it this way directly onto your grill grates, be sure and wipe it down with just a little bit of oil so that they're a lot easier to remove and you don't have any sticking. You'll see later that I get a little bit of sticking when I go to pull these off. Now that we've got everything on the smoker, it's time to talk a little bit about the rest of the procedures, but before we do that, I do need to do the YouTube things. Please be sure and leave a like down on the video if you're enjoying it, as well as make sure you're subscribed. Being subscribed to the channel truly helps us out, gets us into more people's recommended feeds, as well as moves us toward that ever elusive 200 subscriber goal where we can be youtube.com/thepitpapa for easy navigation. In addition, please be sure and leave a comment down below. Tell me what your favorite variety of jerky is. And if you don't like jerky, that's okay. Let me know that as well. But the comments, the like button, and the subscriptions really help the channel out and help us to grow our community. Let's get back to talking about our recipe, however. There are multiple ways you can do this. Now, I don't own a dehydrator, so my entire cook is going to be out here on my Yoder pellet grill, or if I was doing it on my Oklahoma Joe smoker, it would spend the entire time on there. However, if you do own a dehydrator, you can do a brief 2-hour smoke out here at 155, 160, get a little bit of that smoke flavor in, then gather up all of your meat, put it in your dehydrator on the 160 setting, and finish off dehydrating it for the 4 hours after that. That'll give you a slightly less smoke flavored jerky, and you'll be able to get a lot more of the overall nuance of whatever you did your marinade in. I unfortunately don't have that option, but that's okay because I really enjoy heavy smoked jerky, and this isn't even really going to be that heavy of a smoke. We're not talking a 12, 15, 20 hour smoke here. This is a really low, really clean smoke, and we're going to go for the full 6 hours at 155, 160 degrees. And of course, while I was busy yammering away, Past Pit Papa got it done. It's been 6 hours. It's time to get that jerky off. We're going to put this on a sheet pan, take it inside, gently tent it with foil, let it cool down, and then once it's nice and cool, kind of the way you'd get it from the store, we're going to give it a try, see how it tastes, and then to store it, we're going to take the rest of what we don't eat, wrap it in paper towel, and put it into a Tupperware and store it in the fridge. Between the fridge and the paper towel, we're not going to get any moisture that will generate soggy jerky, and this will last for quite a while, assuming we don't eat it, which we probably will. Hey Pit family, Present Pit Papa here. Let's first thank Past Pit Papa and Editor Pit Papa for their hard work. You did a great job, boys, but I'll take it from here. Anyway, why do we not have footage of the taste test? And the answer for that is pretty simple. I screwed up. I did something to my camera app while I was using it. I'm trying a new one that I paid for and I haven't quite mastered it yet. And I locked it into a vertical ratio instead of the normal horizontal. And I also somehow got it into 720p instead of 4K, which is I usually use for my videos. So it just didn't look good and it wasn't particularly usable. So we decided to skip out on that and I'll just talk about it. As for the jerky, it was pretty good. It wasn't my favorite thing I've ever made for sure, but it was better or comparable to all of the stuff I've ever eaten at the store. It just was made at home, which makes it more special, and it was honestly cheaper making it at home for the quantity that I got. I really enjoyed the teriyaki jerky that I did in my test run. You can expect sometime in the future, not immediately, but sometime in the future to see a video of me doing teriyaki jerky again. I need beef prices to sort of normalize a little bit before I do that. But I only bought enough ingredients to do one batch of teriyaki and one batch of Korean barbecue. Korean barbecue is my favorite kind of jerky, so I wanted to make a video about that. So I tested the whole procedure with teriyaki, but The teriyaki came out better. The Korean barbecue, like I said, just didn't have the punchiness, the depth of flavor I was hoping for. So I need to do some more research, do some more experimentation, and then do a redemption video for Korean barbecue jerky. But yeah, that's it. I do recommend if you have a dehydrator to use that. It's a little bit more consistent than using a grill. Obviously with fire, you're running into some various consistency issues even with a pellet grill. But besides those issues, it was really good, and I will definitely be doing jerky that way again, because like I said, comparable to, if not better than anything I've ever had in the store. For now though, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like down below. Be sure and click the subscribe button, leave a comment, and as always, share with a friend. I've been the Pit Papa, and I'll see you outside.